So today, I'm delighted to welcome Ayesha Curry.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'm super excited and super nervous.
There's
demo.
no need to be nervous.
Well,
at
I've got
Google.
this big knife here. I don't want to cut my finger off.
I was telling Aisha we are a very casual place. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We love to have a good time, passionate about food and about the work that we do. And I think that we're all going to just help her be super welcome, right?
And my response to that was super casual, yes, but not super, super casual because there's one thing missing, and that's wine. But
should have taken care of that.
I'm just so kidding.
I told her, though, next time come in the afternoon, and we'll have some wine. All right, so Aisha, as we know, is not only a cookbook author now, you're a television host now.
Yeah.
A line of products.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you're not doing in the food space right now?
Not right now, actually.
Right. International Smoke with Michael Minna, right?
Yeah.
All the things happening.
Yeah, it's been an incredible past couple of years. And recently, so this cookbook is all about the home chef. There is nothing fancy in there. It's all quick, it's easy and approachable. And so with the restaurant, it's a whole different ball game. It's the actual culinary world, and so
full spectrum.
Full spectrum, two different worlds, and so it's been fun to kind of dive into both.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So today is all about the seasoned life and how we can cook for our families or ourselves or our friends, our communities at home in the evening, despite our busy lives. And I think that's something that I personally can relate to, and I hope all of you can too. So what are we having today?
So we are going to be making an olive and mushroom smothered pork tenderloin. So they've been so nice to mise en place everything for me, so it's all here ready to go. And then for our side, we're going to do roasted pear and cranberry Brussels sprouts. This stuff is so easy. It's insane.
Really seasonal right now.
Very seasonal, so I'm happy you guys picked that for me to demo for you guys today.
It's very important to us.
And just the great thing about everything is that it's quick. You'll see, we only have, 30 minutes today for the demo, and it should all be done by time this is over. So
you are being graded on that.
Okay. Perfect.
Very casually. It's a number system.
Just don't drop me down on the search engine if I fail miserably. So I guess we get started?
Let's do it.
All right, so we're going to start by making a beautiful spread that's going to top this pork tenderloin before it goes into the oven. And so I'm just going to slice up 1 cup of mushrooms and about half of this yellow onion. I'm going to go ahead and dice it up. So this is busy work, so I'm sure you're going to ask me questions while I do this. And after that happens, we're going to get it into the pan and start sauteing it so that by the time we pulse it, it's nice and cooked and flavorful. So I'm going to slice these mushrooms.
So personally, Aisha, I'm interested. What is your biggest tip for those of us who work and want to come home and make good food for our families and get that time together at the end of the day?
I think my biggest tip is it's all about balance. It's not always going to happen because everybody's so busy. Our phones are always on us. Work never stops. And so just making that effort, even if it's once a week, to have dinner or lunch or something, or breakfast if you want to wake up a little bit earlier with your friends or family is just so important. It helps build the lines of communication. It helps strengthen relationships. For me, I tell the story of me growing up. That's where my best relationships were formed. I was in the kitchen all the time with my mom, my dad, my grandma, whoever, and it was just a safe place for us to be able to talk and communicate. And it's something that I do today with my daughters. And sometimes my husband now. So.
Yeah, I was sharing with Aisha earlier that's really the core of the food program at Google and how we even came to be, right? The founders bringing people together over a meal to build community and collaboration, and we still try to facilitate that now in our cafes. And that, I think, we really see food, and I think Aisha agrees, as the tie that binds, no matter who you are. You can really relate to someone over a meal.
Absolutely.
And I know that your philosophy in the seasoned life beyond that is really about building flavor in ways that doesn't necessarily have to be unhealthy or so talk about that a little bit.
I think with the book, so I have so many girlfriends, cousins, aunties that just don't cook. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because they're intimidated by the kitchen, and they'll go out and buy a cookbook, and there's like 17 million steps. And they're like, I don't have the time to do that. Two, I don't even know where to go in the grocery store to get all this stuff. Yeah. And so I just wanted to make something that was very accessible and easy and quick. And so you'll notice in the book, like, it doesn't lack flavor, but we're using ingredients that you'd have normally in your pantry, just putting unexpected combinations together.
Yeah, layering. I was really impressed by that. I also really enjoyed the balance of indulgent, what we would consider more like indulgent, like the fried Oreos, and the like cleaner food. I think that's something that's really important to us as well, is really thinking about having a balance of food experiences in your life, right? You gotta have peaks. You gotta have a fried Oreo once in a while.
Yes.
Right?
If you have the book, I see a lot of you have the book. So if you have the book, please make the fried Oreos. It's so easy. It's like Bisquick and Oreos and oil, and it's totally worth it.
Well, and Aisha was fun enough to participate in a contest with us for Googlers to kind of riff on one of the recipes from the book and reimagine it. And Kim here in the front row was actually our contest winner. Big, huge shout out to you.
Yay! Has everybody seen everybody's? Or
some really fun recipes, and there was a play on the fried Oreo, which I was happy to see.
Awesome. Yeah, no, she made this beautiful bread pudding, and I think you had was it a little ghost on top, or?
Like a whipped cream ghost.
A whipped cream ghost for the holiday.
Yeah, it was insane. But I looked at everybody's pictures, and honestly, the effort was incredible. Like, I was, everybody's coming for my
really
top.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, it was great. So congratulations.
Thank you very much for joining in on that.
All right, so I've successfully chopped up all of my vegetables here. And so we're gonna get these mushrooms into this pan. And what we wanna do is cook those mushrooms down. I put a little bit of oil into the pan, but with the mushrooms, there's so much natural water in there. And so we wanna bring that out so that they shrink down a little bit and start to caramelize. And then we'll add in the onions, and then we're gonna go in with some coarsely chopped garlic. It doesn't have to be fine because this is all gonna get put into this food processor, and that's how we're going to make the paste.
So this is not about knife work. This is
not about
just
knife
about
work.
flavor.
No, and that's what I love a food processor, because it does all the work for you.
Me too. It's not. Oh,
yeah, it's on.
The pan's on. We're cooking
on.
over here. Let me just tell you.
It's slow, but it's on.
It's
on.
happening.
I have it on 7, so I think we should be okay.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hear the sizzle.
We're good. And I will admit
right.
freely that I had to take some time to learn how to turn this fancy stove on. And there have maybe been other guests where I've said, I learned this time, for those who are remembering last time.
Yeah. So we're going to get
it smells amazing.
Well, I think that smell is garlic, which is
perhaps
a good smell. Unless you're on a date, then maybe not such a good smell.
Unless you can convince your date to eat it as well.
Right, that's
and
true.
Then you can
then
bond
it's like you
over
level the playing field.
Garlic funk, spread around, everybody's fine.
So funny. Oh my goodness. But so it's really funny because this book is for people that have never cooked a day in their life. I feel like if you've never lifted a knife or a wooden spoon, you can still successfully make a meal from this book. And it's so funny because I've gotten a little bit of criticism, like, why did you make a cookbook? The recipes are so easy. And I'm like, well,
it's for real people.
That's the whole point of this. And so if you get a chance, please try something, because it really is so easy.
Yeah, for sure. Really accessible.
But that was the whole point, right?
Really accessible, but I think also really beautiful. Big spectrum of types of dishes. It food doesn't have to be complicated in order to be delicious. And I think in our daily lives, the more straightforward food is probably the most impactful.
Yeah,
I mean, we cannot all be the French Laundry on a day. How many people are in the back of that place putting out that food, like, on a day-to-day basis? This is the kind of food people need in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that food that you can do this. You can have people over, have a conversation, and still get the meal prepared. So
How many
yeah,
of you
we'll leave
cook
the French
at
laundry
home
to the French laundry.
regularly?
Pardon?
I was asking just how many people cook at home regularly. So say like about half. I would challenge the rest of you, get the book, try a recipe, and I'm confident anyone would be able to execute food you could be proud of.
Yeah, for sure. So just a little salt and some pepper. Oh, this is a good pepper grinder. Okay. So really we just want to cook these onions until translucent. I don't know if you can see. Oh, I got pepper in my throat. I don't know if you can see, but
A little bit on the edge of the monitor up there, yep.
the mushrooms here, I'll just hold one up. The mushrooms have cooked down, that water's out, and it's helping to cook down those onions. So we can actually cut this off now. This is going to go into our food processor here. So straight in there. It smells good already, but it's going to get even better. All right, so into our food processor. Now, when I cook, I make an absolute mess. I'm just going to preface that, and it's fine. It can be cleaned up later, but luckily today I don't have to do the cleaning myself.
That's the best
So
part.
how rude of me to make such a mess.
That's the best part. You gotta make a deal, right? I'll cook, you clean. That's always the deal.
So I have some capers here. I love capers because it's natural salt content. It's delicious, little burst of flavor. We're gonna put those right into here. We have black olives. I love olives. My whole family loves olives. My sister's here today, if you didn't know. Maria
Thanks
right
for
there.
coming.
She's filming me like an awkward parent. So we're going to put these olives into here. All right. We don't need all of those. Why not? All right. So I'm not going to salt this anymore yet because the olives and the capers are salty. We want to pulse this all together to see what we get first, and then we will taste and then salt as we go along.
Can always add salt,
yes,
but you can't take it out, right?
No. So we're going to turn that on. See, so it's coming together, making this beautiful paste. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go in with a little bit of oil. And this is going to bring our paste together. So beautiful. All right, let's see what we got. Yum, looks perfect. Okay, I'm going to taste. Now, we have these great plastic, well, these are forks. We have these great plastic tasting forks here.
So fancy.
Nobody does that at home, let's be honest. So use your fingers if you're by yourself. Yeah, that's perfect.
In a public food environment, we would use a disposable. At home, just fingers. Right.
All right, so that's done. That's what's going to top this pork tenderloin. We have a rub for our tenderloin. Flavor it up really nice. I just have here a little bit of dried thyme. Let me move over for the camera. We have here a little bit of dried thyme right into the bowl. We have a little bit of salt, some paprika, just regular paprika. You can use smoked if you want to switch it up a little bit and give it a smoky flavor, but today we're using just regular. And then a little bit of black pepper.
And if we wanted to do this recipe all the time, we could make a little jar of that and
Absolutely.
keep it in the cupboard, right?
Yeah, I'm all about making your own blends. Store-bought is just fine, but if you get a chance, if you're making this recipe, triple it, quadruple it, bottle it up and save it for later.
Just keep it.
Yeah. You can even do this rub ahead of time and keep it in the fridge and it'll just marinate it that much better. So we have our rub done. I am going to... Oh, do we have another pan?
Of course
use
we have
this
another
one.
pan.
Oh,
Ta-da, pan!
Thank you. So I'm going to get this going. I'm so happy that I'm able to work this stove. You have no idea.
It's really not an easy stove to work, which you would think it would be.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to get that nice and hot, and while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and rub this pork tenderloin. So you got to get your hands dirty here. There's no different way to do it. So I'm just going to sprinkle the rub on, just like so. We're going to rub it. And you see that paprika gives it nice color. Just like so. Flip it over. And I feel like pork tenderloin is something unexpected that you can make at home. People don't know how easy it is. A lot of times you go to a restaurant and they have pork tenderloin and it's a special on the menu and it seems all fancy. But it's actually a pretty affordable cut of meat. And most of the butchers at your local grocery store carry it. So yes. All right. So that's done. Wipe my hands. So getting nice and hot. We're going to get some oil in the pan again. Just like so. Yeah. And then we're going to sear these. And it's going to be about 1 to 2 minutes per side just to get it nice and golden brown. Then we're going to get it on a baking sheet, top it with that rub, and pop it in the oven. And that's it. So. Oh, if you lift the pan, it cuts off, huh?
This technology.
Yeah, that's the sound you like to hear. That nice sizzle. So we're just going to get it. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So about 1 to 2 minutes on either side. Should I ask for questions while this is happening? Or
so
should
the
we get
only
started
awkward thing about questions, and I'll warn you because it is awkward, for the folks watching on the live stream, they won't be able to hear you, so I'm going to repeat your question.
Yes.
Bear with me.
We'll switch that out.
So I'm allergic to pork.
You are?
Amazing. Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
She's allergic to pork. Everybody stop.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's pretty sad.
But what would you recommend, like, other meats to use?
Yeah, you know
So what other cut?
Beef tenderloin would be great. Can you eat beef?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, you could even do this with chicken, honestly,
on a
and it
chicken
would be
breast, yeah?
absolutely delicious. Yeah, some nice chicken breasts, even faster than the pork. I felt like the pork was just a nice change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so try it with chicken.
Fear not. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your new show.
Oh, I would love to.
Ayesha Homemade?
Aisha's
Yeah?
Homemade. Yes. So the new show's actually been in the works for over a year. And it finally aired last week. It's called Aisha's Homemade, and it's, again, the same message as the book. It's fun, family-friendly, easy, and approachable cooking. So I wanted to show people that you can have fun with your food. It doesn't have to be fussy, and you can even get people involved if you want to and give them a job.
So what channel do we watch on?
It's on Food Network.
Okay.
Right now it's Saturday mornings at 12:11 Central, but if you have DirecTV, it's 9 a.m. Found that out the hard way last week. So, yeah, I wasn't happy about it, but it's okay.
Well,
Everybody was like,
congratulations.
Cupcake Wars is on. I was like, come on. Mind you, I'm a fan of Cupcake
Congratulations.
Wars. Yeah, thank you so much. So please watch it so that it stays on if you get a chance.
For sure.
But
And
it really is fun, and
And
everything's
I heard
super
you
easy.
saying your sister came on.
Yeah, my
and-
sister's on this week's episode. Both my sisters, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
And a couple of friends. Actually, I know Michael Mina was here not too long ago, and so
Yeah,
his
last
wife.
year.
Yes, his
Oh.
wife is on the show making her famous Bloody Marys. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
this is done.
Aisha is in partnership with Michael Mena, who came last
Yes.
year to speak to us at a food talk, as well as another wonderful guest, Amanda Haas. So I'm working on a plan, and support me on this one, to get them to all come back together and do a big event here. So
Yes.
stay on the lookout for that.
So you can see a beautiful golden brown color. That's all we wanted to do. It's not cooked through. It's going to finish off in the oven. And I feel like what that does is ensure that our pork is still tender, because nobody likes dried out pork. That's just disgusting.
I think that's the thing that scares people about the tenderloin, is it potentially could dry it out.
Yeah, I say, like, the book says 20 to 25 minutes. It depends on how big your tenderloin is. It could take 15. But you want to do it. Investing in a meat thermometer is a really good idea, because I think it needs to get to 140 degrees, and that means it's cooked. And once it gets to that point, you want to pull it out, because that carryover heat is going to continue to cook it, and then that's when you run into the problem of your meat drying out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So learn how to make sure you're cooking stuff to the right temperature, but not
Yes.
too much.
So we just pile up this spread on top. You can do as much or as little as you want. And I like to put the rest in a little serving bowl if people like extra, and do it that way. But all this does now is go into the oven, again, for about 20 minutes. Do I pretend like this is my oven?
Yeah. It's the magic of Google TV.
So, yes, it's actually on. The oven's on. So
we
is
are
real life.
actually
Yeah,
cooking.
this is actually happening. So That's it for the pork. 20 minutes and it's done. See, super easy.
Super straightforward.
Yeah, not fussy at all. So what do you have to have with your meat? You have to have a side. And so again, the roasted pear and cranberry Brussels sprouts, another super easy dish. I'm gonna go ahead and take all of these Brussels sprouts and chop the base off here because it's really stiff and it won't cook down well in the oven. And then we're gonna slice them in half.
So your pop-up with Michael Minna, International Smoke.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that concept.
So I first met Michael at his restaurant in the city, Michael Mina. And
Easy to remember?
yeah, easy to remember. I know he had a really hard time picking the name. It was like, I'm just joking. So I met him there. And, you know, when I meet successful, smart, interesting people, I tend to ask a lot of questions because I want to take in as much knowledge as I possibly can. And sometimes it gets a little weird, but then sometimes it works out beautifully. And this was one of those moments that just worked out beautifully because I asked him how he came to love food and what his mission was and why he fell in love with it and has been doing it for so long. And it turned out that the reason why he loves food is the same reason that I love food, and it all came down to family. And using it as an avenue to, like when people tell you you can't do something, using it as an avenue to say, no, look, I can, and this is what I did. And just the smile that food puts on people's faces, I mean, there's nothing better than that. And so I made an ultimatum with him, and I said, he does these amazing tailgates at the 49ers stadium. I ramble, so I apologize if this gets long.
We are totally on sync right now. You are not rambling at all.
Perfect. So he throws these amazing tailgates, and he usually invites a chef from the opposing teams, wherever that team
city
is from.
Yeah,
their
and
city.
they do like a showdown.
Yes, and it was getting towards the Super Bowl time or the playoffs time. And playoffs. Does football have playoffs?
Let's
Guys,
pretend.
I'm
I don't
not a
really
sports
know.
girl, so I don't know. But my family is a Carolina Panthers fan, along with all of the sports team here in the Bay Area. But by birth, we're Carolina Panthers fans.
Sure.
And so I said, if the Carolina Panthers make it, can I come cook with you? And he was like, done. So the Panthers made it, and he kept his word, and we cooked together. And I stayed in the kitchen the whole time. And then he was like, we got to do this again. / we have to do something bigger. So we came up with the concept of International Smoke, and it's barbecues from all over the world, but it's the lighter side of barbecue. So we're really inventive with everything that we put out. And the whole premise was like, what could possibly be more family than barbecue? You think of barbecue, you think of family, and so that's why we did it. It was supposed to be for 3 months, and we're in our 6th month now. We have 9 days left of service for the pop-up, and we're very
And
excited.
it's spun off into...
Yes, we are, our first walkthrough experience is opening up in Hawaii in the international marketplace in the spring, and so I'm super excited.
Super exciting.
Hopefully something happens here, but I can't say anything yet, so.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Also sounds right up our alley. We have a famous barbecue cafe here on campus, Backyard.
Really?
Well known for their famous brisket and all that
Ooh.
stuff. So yeah, we're big fans as well.
Nice. Well, if you get a chance, I know only 9 days left, but if you get a chance, come to International Smoke.
I think I'd head to Hawaii.
And
I mean,
that's not a bad idea.
In 9 days, but it's an excuse.
That could be why I said yes to Hawaii too, because
it's not a bad reason.
I'm like, I
that's
gotta
for
go
sure.
to work in Hawaii. See you later. So
love it.
funny. So I'm just chopping up some onion now. Again, this is going to be a sweet and savory side because we have the cranberry, we have our onions, our Brussels, and then we get our acidity from a little bit of lime juice and the sweetness from pear and honey. So it's a fun but classic side dish. So I'm just going to keep chopping these onions. I keep looking at the clock and it's intimidating me.
It's whatever. That clock is not the boss of you.
All right.
You can do whatever you want.
Perfect. Good to know.
Who else has a question? Yeah.
I've got a 2-year-old at home.
Oh.
I was here, your favorite go-to kid dish.
All right.
Yes.
He's got a 2-year-old. So what's the best go-to kid recipe?
So little girl or little boy?
boy.
Boy, what's his name?
Drew.
So cute. So in the book, I have a Cooking with the Littles chapter, and it's small, but it's
So are they.
informational.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's informational. But in there, I have a recipe for kid-friendly chicken tenders, and I know it's like all chicken tenders are kid-friendly, but it's kid-friendly in the sense that it's still healthy for them. And so what we do is we trick the kids by coating the we coat the
Don't tell them.
No, don't tell them. We coat them in flaxseed, salt and pepper, and that's it. And then they're baked off in the oven. So you're not getting these breaded, fried, super oily chicken tenders. You can have the confidence and feel comfortable that you're giving them something still nutritious, but they think they're getting their chicken tenders. So I hope that helps. Okay, good. Then I have these beautiful pears here, and I'm just going to slice them into wedges. It's about 8 wedges per pear. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that up. And this is all going into the same bowl. And then we're going to olive oil, salt, and pepper them and throw them on a baking sheet. So,
Did you have a question? Yeah, that's a great question. So the question is, what is the biggest transition going from cooking for your family and friends to cooking in a restaurant scenario?
So it was really intimidating. It's a whole different world, obviously. There's so much more like procedure involved and like protocol, and you have to worry about the cost of the food, where the food is coming from, if it's going to get delivered on time. There's just
Did
so
they deliver
many.
the right amount? How many portions can you get out of that?
Exactly. Yeah. And so for me, it was really fun, but intimidating to learn that whole process and just learn really about how the food gets from the farm to the table. And so it's been, I'm still learning. It's been 6 months. So obviously I'm not there yet, but I'm getting better, and it's just been a really interesting process. Lucky for me, like cooking for large groups of people is easy. It's harder for me to cook for 2 or cook for 4 because I grew up in a large household. There was 5 kids plus my parents, so I was always cooking. And then we'd have uninvited guests like all the time. And so my mom was always cooking in like a huge stock pot, whether it was chicken, whatever it was. And I had to kind of unlearn how to cook for a lot of people. So now I'm having to relearn how to cook for a lot of people. And it's just this whole thing. So that, but honestly, it's so much fun being in the restaurant business, and just the way, especially when you get a staff that genuinely like loves what they do, everybody's always so happy and excited to be there, and it really is like a family unit. And so I think that's a special thing that I've come to learn that I wasn't expecting. And so that's been a fun process.
Yeah, you're
for me.
just extending your
awesome.
circle.
Yeah.
Love it.
So we have our veggies, our fruits, our onions, everything's in there. We're gonna go ahead and do a little olive oil. We're gonna do a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And we're gonna toss it together. Let's see if I could do like the fancy.
Now you're a chef now, eh? You gotta.
Yeah, okay, these are tossed. So all we're gonna do is throw them on a baking sheet here, like so. These are gonna go into the oven, 450 degrees for about 20-25 minutes until they're golden brown, and those Brussels are barely tender. The pears will release their juices and they'll start to caramelize, and it'll just create this beautiful, beautiful dish. What you want to do is you want to finish it off with these gorgeous cranberries, and we can put them in during the baking process. You can leave them out. It doesn't matter. It's totally up to you. And then we'll finish it off once it comes out with a couple squeezes of lemon juice and a little drizzle of honey, which is the best part. Don't leave the honey out. It's what flavors it and makes it delicious and gives it that sweet. So all that
Sounds
savory.
amazing.
So, yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect.
We do all get to eat this food, so get excited.
Yes, everybody gets to try, because everybody here was so nice to prepare a bunch on these gorgeous plates. So I think I was supposed to plate it when it's all done, but I don't have
You
the
can
finished,
do again, whatever you
I
want.
don't have the finished product here. So.
Well, tell us how you might plate it.
All right, well, we have these beautiful plates here. Yes, please. That'd be amazing.
I bet we have some magical pork and Brussels sprouts that you can plate.
That'd be incredible. Move this stuff out of the way.
Who else has a question?
I just clean this off.
Ooh, Thanksgiving is her favorite. Me too.
Yeah.
Ooh, which recipes from the
So-
book would be awesome Thanksgiving recipes?
So I feel like this pear and cranberry and Brussels sprouts is perfect. It's
Yeah,
a perfect
absolutely.
side. I have for post Thanksgiving. I feel like everybody knows what to cook for Thanksgiving, but it's those days after. What do you do with all the food? And so in the book, I have my mom's leftover chicken soup recipe, and you can totally use turkey. And so we tend to pick the meat off of all the bones, whatever we have left. Sometimes we'll make broth with the bones, but other times, like store-bought is just fine. And then we'll make a soup with it and put pumpkin and squash and all sorts of delicious things. And we make these little dumplings with just flour and water, a little bit of salt. Roll them up and drop them in the soup before we serve them because we're Jamaican, and so that's just what we do with everything. And so it's delicious. So that would be what I recommend. Good. Thank you.
Sounds delicious.
The other thing that's not in the book that I did last Thanksgiving, and it was perfect, was I spatchcocked my turkey.
Fancy.
Yes, you can do it at home by yourself, or you can get the butcher to remove the rib cage, and so it lies flat on a baking sheet, and the turkey cooks in like an hour and a half. So it's tender, it's juicy, and you don't have to worry about overcooking it or like staying up overnight or throughout the morning to check on it and make sure it's okay.
All right, here's some magical pork and
Listen, I
Brussels
live in
sprouts
East
for you.
Bay, so I don't know how this garbage system goes. Okay.
Compost.
Thank you. Beautiful. So, okay, well, this is kind of already done.
No, I
But-
mean,
So a little pink is great. Like, don't be alarmed by the pink. That's why it's so important to have the meat thermometer because it lets you know if it's done or not. So we can slice this up, wipe off my knife.
so now that you're a restaurant owner or partner,
Yes.
where's your favorite place to eat that's not your spot?
So there's this place in the city called Aisha Thai.
Oh, yeah.
I love
There's more than
Thai
one
food.
Aisha Thai.
There's like 12.
Yeah, that place is great.
I love Aisha Thai, and so we love to go there. I'm trying to think, what's another place? I've been really wanting to try Benu.
Benu, yeah.
I haven't tried that yet, and I want to try it really bad.
Heard good things. I haven't tried it either.
Yes. You know what? This is done, so we can just like layer this pork right onto our plate here.
Looks beautiful
Yeah.
and clearly so easy.
So easy, right?
Love it.
Yeah. You don't even really have to think about it too much.
Love it.
So there you go.
All right. Ta-da!
I'm like looking at the thing. There you go. See, beautiful. Super easy. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like,
Yeah,
please,
I know
can't
we
wait
have
for you to try.
tastes on their way, but
Yeah.
let's have some more questions
Yeah, I
while,
would love
while
questions.
Favorite family recipes from the cookbook?
Yeah, so there's a recipe in there, and it's my my mom's recipe from my childhood, and it's her brown sugar chicken, and it's so comforting. It's nostalgia in like one giant Dutch pot. And it's one of those dishes that you can make ahead and keep in the freezer or the fridge because it just gets better with time. The flavor soaks into that meat, and it's so good. We serve it with just plain rice.
Love it.
And like piled up with that brown sugar sauce, and it's so yummy. It's very reflective of my childhood, and so I serve it for my family now. And then we do a lot of my game day pasta sauce, especially now that the season started back up. I make it in bulk and then keep it in the fridge. But the good thing is that everybody eats it because I don't want to have to be making like 5 different things. And then 2, I sneak veggies in there. So there's eggplant and spinach, but it's pulsed down so nobody knows. And so it's like a win-win, especially as a mom, like
Oh, yeah.
getting my kids to eat eggplant is
Yeah. I'm working on green
it's a win.
things with
You're working
mine.
on-
Yeah.
Put them into a red sauce. You can't even tell it's in there.
Yeah.
And
Smoothies
then they're
also.
getting that iron smoothies.
Yeah, right. My new
Yep.
trick.
Yep. Smoothies are great.
We both have daughters named Riley. So
We
were
do. How
bonding-
weird is that?
bonding
Isn't that
about-
cool? But I stole it from her because her daughter's 11. So
Sent it to her telepathically because we knew we were having fiery little ladies. Yeah, Kim.
Do you ever have your daughters help you out?
Yeah, do your daughters
Yes.
help you out?
absolutely. So if you read the book, that's kind of my biggest motto is to cook with your kids if you have kids. for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that you're giving them kitchen confidence from such a young age. Even the smallest job, as like taking a cup of flour and putting it into a bowl, gives them so much confidence. Two, you're building memories with them. My fondest memories growing up were with my family in the kitchen. And so it's just like solidifying that bond.
And it's so true. And I know some of you probably like, you get frustrated if you're trying to get food out quickly and the kids want to help. And it's so easy on that day-to-day basis to be like, no, I just have to do this. And if you can stop and make that memory and give them that little job, I think it does pay.
In the long run, it's so much more rewarding. And like my whole motto is like, the mess in the kitchen can be cleaned up later. Those memories are priceless. And then the third reason I say cook with your kids is because there's been numerous studies that show if you cook with your kids, they're more apt to try whatever they had a hand in making. And so it's a great way to get them to try their veggies and get them to try something that they wouldn't have normally tried. And it works. It 99.9% of the time it's worked for me so far.
Well, and even if they don't end up eating it, they tried it, right? They've had an experience with whatever, and they'll come back to it. That's always our rule. Like, just try it.
Yeah.
You don't have to eat it.
Yeah.
Just try it.
Yeah.
What else? Is there a recipe you found challenging that you tried to master?
So it's funny. It's like the simplest of things. Just I can't process it. So like poaching an egg is
it's not easy.
I like, don't ask me to do that for you, because I'll do it if I have to, but I don't care to do it.
Yeah, we had Kenji Lopez Alt came in food lab through science, and he showed us how to poach a perfect egg, and I've tried it. It kind of works sometimes, but I agree.
Fry them, boil them, scramble them, whatever. Right. Don't ask me to poach your eggs for you.
Yeah, I agree completely on that one. Who else has a question? Yeah?
So I grew up in a
Yeah, like tasty sides that could substitute for rice.
Yeah,
without.
I think this is great. It obviously doesn't have the texture of rice. So one thing that's like a huge fad and trend right now is cauliflower rice.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's really good. But for me personally, I love super grains like quinoa. I think quinoa is awesome. Just like the regular yellow, white quinoa. I'll cook it down with chicken stock. Farro's great. I'll cook it down with chicken stock or some sort of flavored broth, and that just gives it more depth, not so plain. So I like that.
Totally agree. And look for those grains around Google, because we're big on using them, and I didn't really try them before I came here, and now I'm totally hooked. Different glycemic index, will be good. How's that pork and veggies?
You like it?
Yeah. Everybody's happily digging in. I love it. Any other last few questions? Yeah. Yeah, what didn't make the cut? What do you enjoy? Yeah, I'm going to give you a second. What do you enjoy cooking that didn't make the cut?
So, I had a recipe for a Dutch baby in my book, and Chrissy Teigens came out like right before I was delivering my manuscript, and she had a Dutch baby in there, so I took it out.
Yeah.
It was too similar. I was like, come on. No, but I love her, and I refer to that book for my Dutch baby.
Yeah, we love her too. We're going to try and get her to come here. So maybe we'll add her to the Michael Mann, Amanda Haas, Ayesha Curry party.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'd be even more fun, right?
Yeah.
Who else wants to ask something? Yeah. Yeah, how
do it all?
How do you do it all? Please let us know.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to balance it.
Pretty sure you're fooling the world right now.
Not kidding. Like, I just realized, like, I feel something scraping on my back, and it's the tag to my dress. So, it's not, I'm not joking. It's like not. It's like I'm still trying to figure that out. But I luckily, I have such a supportive family, and, like, I'm very blessed in that my husband is my biggest encourager, and so we kind of balance each other out that way.
He seems like an all right guy.
He's
I don't know.
He's okay. No, I'm just joking. He's amazing. I think we balance each other out. We're good together.
You're a team.
Yeah, we're a team. Exactly. Right? Like, no pun intended.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, and then it's so funny because, like, as a mom, it's been really hard for me to find that, like, home-work balance. And for the beginning of his schedule is so hectic. And so for me, when all this started, I was home. We had our first daughter very quickly after we got married, like 3 months after we found out we were having a baby. And so it was like this
But you
whole
guys
thing.
been together for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, we met when I was 14 in our church youth group. We didn't start dating until I was 19, but we've been together ever since then. And so it's been a long time. But I struggled with a long time with like help, like getting help with the kids and like school and daycare. Like it was a big deal for me. And I guess it never gets easier, but I'm getting there, and I've truly learned that it takes a village, and to not be embarrassed or get down on yourself from the
Totally.
help, you know?
I was thinking about that earlier when you said, if you can get one night bonding with your kids, like,
Yeah.
I think we'll need to give ourselves a break a little bit. Like, life is super hectic, and if we were all just easier on ourselves and supported ourselves the way we support the people we love in our community, I think that would be really beneficial.
The way that I've like found peace with everything, it's like it's definitely quality over quantity. And so I make sure that when I'm home, I'm like connected with my kids, and I try my best to put my phone down. Sometimes it doesn't happen.
I know. We just made a
But
rule
I
at my
try.
house.
Yeah,
Dinner,
I try.
no
So,
phones. It's hard.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to get busted for going over time, and I will apologize in advance for that. Thank you so much on behalf of all of us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.